talking about dying to be that girl in the picture. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about this young girl by the name of Renika Hall. I'm not sure if you all heard about her, but with the Brazilian butt lift injections and, you know, things of that nature going on and everything. She was a 25-year-old mother of a 1-year-old. After she had her baby and everything, she wasn't feeling like her body was on point and it wasn't right and all the other stuff and everything. So, you know, she, you know, wanted to have her, you know, fat removed from wherever on her body and injected into her butt and everything. And so she was from Missouri. And so what she did was she saw where it was a plastic surgeon center in Miami, Florida, Hialeah, Florida, or something like that or whatever. But they were having a sale, a Brazilian butt lift sale for $3,500 where, you know, you would get a butt lift for that amount of money. And I guess when you think about it, because you know that is a very expensive procedure and everything, $3,500, $3,500, you can't beat that at all and everything. But you know, some things are too good to be true, and when it sounds too good to be true, most likely it is and everything. You know, she flew down to, you know, Miami, and her, you know, siblings and her mother told her, you know, don't do it and everything. And she went ahead and did it anyway. And she, you know, proceeded to get the procedure, and by, you know, the surgery took hours, and by 9 o'clock, the surgery center itself was calling 911, you know, because she was on the table and she wasn't breathing, and, you know, they got her to the hospital and everything, and to make a long story short, with that case and everything, she died, and at the medical examiner, they determined that she had died of a fat embolism, and, you know, some fat had got into her bloodstream and lodged like right beside her lung, and it blocked the oxygen, so she couldn't breathe. And so, you know, that's sad. And it's sad because, you know, I know that, you know, it's 2017 and everything, and I know that she heard, you know, other stories about people dying and all this other stuff and everything. And then it's wild because that happened, you know, March 16th. Well, May of 2016, someone else had, you know, received a Brazilian butt lift. Her name was, I think, Heather Meadows, and she was a mother of 2, and she went down there with her best friend, and she had the Brazilian butt lift, and she died too. And, you know, something got up in her lungs too, and she died too. And it's sad because these females, they know it, and they hear these stories and everything, but because they want to be that girl in the picture, they're willing to, you know, sacrifice, you know, their family and their life and all this to have a fat ass, and it's not worth it. Is it worth it? No, it's not worth it, because her money is gone. She got a special, and her money is gone, and her life is gone. Her child doesn't have a mother, so that's sad. And with Heather Meadows, her 2 children don't have a mother, and it's sad and everything. And I know, you know, when us women have babies, sometimes our bodies don't bounce back the way that we want it to. But, you know, hearing all these stories or anything, I don't think it's worth, you know, dying. I really don't think it's worth dying at all. You know, I get it. And don't get me wrong, some of these girls in the picture, they do look exactly like that. But some of these females had surgery. Some of them work out. So, you know, it's all an illusion. Some females have filters and all that other stuff and everything. So everything is an illusion or anything. So like I said, some females, some girls are the girl in that picture. But like I said, it's not worth it. I just don't think it's worth it. You know, the holes in your thighs and your hips and everything, and the dents, and it like somebody pummeling your ass, and the discoloration, and, you know, all the other stuff. And even with Kawana Brown, now y'all saw that. And I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to body shame or anything like that, but every last picture that we just seen is disgusting. And I'm quite sure these women look better before they had all this stuff done to them, because all these holes and all these, I know these women was beautiful, but they didn't see it within themselves and everything. And it's messed up because once you get this stuff done or anything, your mentality is really fucked up, because these women thought they was fucked up before. The women that lived, they thought they was fucked up before, but now they got these deformities and all this other stuff. It's women that then lost limbs from getting butt injections or breast implants or this and this that. And matter of fact, it's more like they said with the butt injections that have lost limbs, over butt injections. So it's just messed up that these women got to deal with even more, whatever, if they consider it as a burden, they got to deal with more of what they didn't want to deal with before. And it's just sad, and seeing all these pictures and everything, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just rather. And Kawana Brown, she said that she is dealing with her deformity. She's having a hard time. She had 3 kids and everything, but she's pregnant with her 4th child. So I'm trying to figure out, and I'm not trying to be funny, how did you have sex looking like that? How? Because her, I don't understand it. Did you do it in the dark? And I couldn't even do it in the dark with all that going on. So to me, when I was younger, I used to be like, I want my titties done because you want your titties to sit up forever. But as I got older and everything, I was like, getting a scar just to have them sitting up forever, it ain't worth it. It's not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. So, females got to, really think, are you doing this for yourself? You're doing it for so men could be attracted to you or anything. It's not worth it. And, I feel like, with Nicki Minaj and Kim Kardashian and all these people out here who are getting these butts and these Brazilian butt lifts and get these fat, round, perfect, sitting up donkey butts and everything, and K. Michelle, got the butt, and, and Iggy Azalea and all these people getting their butt done and everything. And, it does, sometimes when you have a fat round butt, it does make your jeans look right, or, your outfits look right and everything. But if you don't have the Nicki Minaj or the K. Michelle money or the Iggy Azalea money and everything, then I just don't think that, you should go, to different places and, go, out of state and overseas to get, something done that's illegal and everything, because it's illegal for a reason or anything, and it's not worth losing your life. They also, had where, transgenders, and, it has been going on for a while and everything. This is nothing new. There's nothing new at all and everything. People just try to sweep it up under the rug and everything, and, or some people just think that, because the stories are out and everything, females are smarter enough to, to not, go out and still do it or anything. But it was a transgender by the name of Symone Marie Jones. He was 19. I think his male name was Eugene Jones or something like that, whatever. But he was 19, and he went to North Carolina, and he had some butt injections done by another transgender. And it's sad because, I think he paid between $500 to $1,200 for his injections. And it's sad because he had already had implants, and he had those done by a licensed professional surgeon. So, it's sad that he went and had off the market butt injections, because some of these people think, they hear stories or anything, and they thinking, oh, it won't happen to me. It's not going to happen to me. Nothing's going to happen to me and everything. And, you see the doctor that's doing it, like and not even a doctor, because the person who did him, that wasn't a doctor and everything, but you see him and you see his, shots and everything, and, you think, okay, well, he's fine and everything. And, people, when people get these shots and everything, they're not supposed to be telling, whether something went wrong or anything like that or whatever. But I think in his case, the transgender who did his shots and everything lied and said that he was licensed or some type of way or whatever. So when you're going out here and everything, you need to do your research and everything, because he went ahead and he got the injections and everything, and he didn't even die right away. He died a few days later and everything. Within 2 days, he was back at the hospital saying that he was having a hard time breathing and everything, and they found out that he had silicone and glass shards in his lungs and everything. And to make a long story short and everything, he died. The transgender who did his butt injections, he's behind bars, and they are charging him with murder. And it's sad because I think another transgender by the name of Kayonceya Brown, I think before Symone Jones had got injections, Kayonceya had got butt injections by the transgender person, and that person's name was Kayonceya Iman Cornelius. Yeah, but Kayonceya had got butt injections from him also, and Kayonceya said that he's still suffering from complications of having butt injections from him. And I think it's sad because I feel like it's not worth it. I feel like, it's bras out here, and it's underwear, and it's different things that can, make your body look the way that you want it to look and everything, but it's not worth losing your life and everything. I feel sorry for all of these people, family and everything. It's sad because you hear the stories and everything. And as far as the transgender person who's doing the illegal butt injections, You know you're wrong. You know you're wrong because it was another transgender who used to do the shots. I can't think of his names right now, but he used to do the shots and he ain't got locked up. So you know that's not good. A research foundation says that patients are 20 times more likely to die from the Brazilian butt lift than any other surgery, and that's crazy. You know that is totally crazy. There's no way that I would want that, but I just think it's sad that with today's society and everything, people look as far as beauty as being on the outside, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder and everything, and beauty is from within. Having a fat butt doesn't make you beautiful, and having big titties doesn't make you beautiful and everything. It is just sad that all these people are hearing these stories, or even with the transgenders are getting these illegal injections because they want to look a certain way because they feel like females are like this, and then you got the females who are getting the same implants to try to look just as much as curvy as the the transgender. So it's just wow. I feel like it's so wild. What is wrong with natural beauty and everything? Because now with the fake butts and everything, people talking about girls got saggy titties and this and this that and all this other stuff and everything. And no, it's not that or whatever. It's just that with people out here today and they're not happy with themselves. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but like I said, I just don't feel like it's worth dying. If you don't have the money to get it done correctly, then it's not meant for you to get it done at all, because it's not meant for you to have all that mess up in your body and everything, because later on in life, we all get old, and with that stuff in your body and everything, your body still gonna do the exact same thing that was gonna do before you got this stuff in your body. It's just gonna do it with that stuff in your body, or if you get it taken out and everything, it's gonna make your body look worse and everything. So all I can say is, people gotta learn how to love themselves. They gotta learn how to love themselves and everything, and all this stuff is irrelevant at the end of the day and everything. You got to be happy with yourself, because you have breast implants, butt implants, hip implants, facelift, and all that other stuff and everything. But if you're not happy on the inside or anything, it's still not gonna matter. It's still not gonna matter. I don't want this to be too long. So with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or a question in the section below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this on up. So deuces.